Good morning. This is a message from News in Motion. News in Motion, a firm believer in democracy over political party, is established to foster citizen engagement and civic life by sharing headline news, voter education, and voter participation. We aim to instill a sense of empowerment and motivation. This grassroots movement seeks to inspire individuals through informative and engaging content, encouraging them to take meaningful action in their communities and contribute to positive change. We believe in democracy over political party, and we're here to make sure that belief is upheld. Whatever the news, let's commit to democracy and our shared humanity.
News in motion.
Good morning, everyone. It's the Young People Takeover here at News in Motion. I'm Isaiah Jones.
I'm Lexi Williams.
And I'm just going to say it has been an interesting 72 hours. We've had the RNC conference kickoff yesterday. We're going to talk about what happened on Saturday. We finally have an official vice president now. So
running mate.
Yeah,
running mate.
But it's looking like that's going to be the definite guy. But I don't know. It's just been an interesting 72 hours. So before we get into Talk About It Tuesday, well, good morning to all of our viewers, whether you be live or catching the replay. If you're tuning in through YouTube, LinkedIn, we just want to say good morning to you. If you're an audio podcast listener, thank you for turning those dials to NIM today. Keep your eyes on the road. But if you're stationary and you have a chance to try it with us, please do so because we have a lot to talk about on Talk About It Tuesday. Before we get started, a few shout out to our viewers. Good morning to you, Miss Marion Jackson. Good morning to you, Miss Shirley Nicholson. Good morning, Miss Latrice Jones. Good morning, Ready Media. And good morning, Fred Jones. And good morning, TW. I believe that's Miss Tanya.
My mama.
Good morning to you as well. So without further delay, let's just get straight into it. Saturday, it was an eventful day. It was an eye-opening day for not just the Republican Party, but for the country of the United States. Violence should never be the answer, and we should never wish that kind of thing on anybody. No matter what they've done or anything like that, that should never be the answer. So again, we're glad that everyone was safe, but violence should never be the answer with that. And from a young person's perspective, Lexi, can I get your opinion on this?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna run. This is my story for today. So I'm gonna run this really quick so you guys all know what he's talking about. But hello, everybody. My name is Lexi Williams. I'm your special reporter and high school ambassador for News in Motion. Thank you for joining us for Talk About It Tuesday. And trust me, there's a lot to talk about. Thank you to Auntie Gail and the Ready Media team for allowing us this opportunity to do this. Hello, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I hope your week has been as great as you are. But today we will be talking about attempts on the former president. So for reference, the last attempt of assassination on a president was in 1981 while Ronald Reagan was in office. Former President Donald Trump was injured in an assassination attempt Saturday when a gunman opened fire at his campaign rally, killing one spectator and bloodying Trump's ear. This story comes from NBC News, by the way. The shooter was appeared to take an elevated position at a rooftop outside the venue around 148 yards. Is dead. Another two spectators were critically injured. Trump's campaign said he is or was safe. The FBI identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. A motive was not immediately clear. Trump was about 6 minutes into his remarks in the western Pennsylvania when pops of gunfire rang out. The Republican presidential contender grabbed his right ear and then got to the floor, where he was immediately swarmed by Secret Service agents who piled on top of him to protect him. The agents then held Trump to his feet, surrounded him, and rushed him off stage to a waiting vehicle. Trump, with blood on the side of his ear, repeatedly pumped his fist in the air and waved as the crowd cheered. Trump said on a post on Truth social media about 2.5 hours later that a bullet pierced the upper part of my right ear. A doctor attending the event told NBC News that he saw a man suffer a gunshot wound to the head and helped carry him from the site of the rally. Speaking in a parking lot near the event, a mother and her son who were attending the rally told NBC News that they saw people in the crowd who were injured and carried away. And in hours after the shooting, Representative Ronnie Jackson, Republican for Texas, said in an interview on Fox News that his nephew was grazed on the neck by a bullet at that rally. Trump spokesperson Stephen Chung said Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. And from our former president, Obama said, I quote, "There is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that the former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics." So, my thoughts. No matter what your political stance is, where you come from, or what you look like, violence is never the answer. Whether you like the former guy, whether you don't like him, he is a human being just like the rest of us, and he deserves the same respect as any other president. I understand we all don't agree with some of his actions, but that I'm not defending any of his actions, but just want to clarify it is still wrong, and not only is it wrong, but it's considered a sin as a Christian. So make sure to stay tuned for any future updates from us. So come back tomorrow to see if we have anything new.
Thank you for that special report, Lexi. And just to emphasize that violence is never the answer, despite who the former president was, his past actions, anything like that. Like I said before, I'm thankful that he wasn't seriously hurt, um, but it's a scary and surreal situation. Um, and we're gonna get into this topic. So make sure that you are ready to chat with us because we're gonna talk about it. So I know that there has been some rhetoric around social media of some people saying that this stuff was staged or that it could possibly been an inside job to get Trump votes or to get people to empathize with him. Um, I don't believe that. There was also some reports saying that the shooter had Trump signs in his backyard. But we want to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions in the chat. Please let us know what you are thinking about this. Mr. Treese Jones says one thing that most Americans agree on is that there was a major security failure. Absolutely. I feel like the Secret Agent Service was a little bit delayed in the response to making sure that the former President Donald Trump got out of there safely, but and just making sure that everybody else was okay, making sure that they were low enough to that way they didn't get hit as well. Um, there has to be some better security detail, better planning, and you would think that there would, days beforehand, because don't they usually get there days beforehand to make sure that everything is scoped out and nobody has access to like any secret areas or anything like that. Um, but we want to keep hearing your thoughts and opinions. So please let us know what you think of this in the chat. Lexi, again, thank you for that special report. As we are going to keep talking about this momentarily, we're also going to talk about J.D. Vance, how former President Donald Trump also picked him as his running mate for vice president. And if we also have time, we are definitely going to get into the inspirational message, and hopefully we'll get into the national days from Lexi as well. But real quickly, we're also going to talk about the hurricane that is happening in Texas, how people are still without electricity. There are some people with electricity, but still half of Texas are without. So this is coming from AP News. The Texas governor, looks like we lost. No, we didn't lose Lexi. But this is coming from AP News. Texas Governor Greg Abbott demands answers as customers remain without power after hurricane. With around 270,000 homes and businesses still without power in the Houston area after almost a week after Hurricane Beryl hit Texas, Governor Greg Abbott on Sunday saying he demands an investigation into the response of the utility that serves the area as well as answers as its preparation for upcoming storms. He also states that power companies along the Gulf Coast must be prepared to deal with hurricanes, to state the obvious, as an economical deployment. Um, after returning to the state after an economical deployment trip to Asia. So for those still without power in Houston, we are praying for you, making sure that you are there safely. Those with power, but it's still making sure that your main priority is getting to safety, and checking in on your loved ones as well. Electricity and stuff that that comes and goes, that can be replaced even, but your life is pure and should be preserved as well. But I need to see y'all talk in the chat because we have a lot to talk about on Talk About It Tuesday. So I need to see what y'all are talking about in the chat about not only Saturday, but we also have RNC coming up. The first day of that kicked off yesterday. We also have a running mate apparently for vice president, and JD Vance, who is from Ohio. So, but I thought that JD didn't like the former guy, but apparently anybody's opinion can be changed with money. So, hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Lexi, are your what's your opinions and thoughts on this?
I mean, I think we'll talk about the vice president tomorrow. That is a story that will be coming to you, so stay tuned for that. But it's with so much bad going on in the world with our democracy, with hurricanes left and right, and just everything going on all at one time. Just it reminds you to, of course, vote and pray. Vote and pray. That's number one.
Vote
Vote
and
and pray.
pray.
Y'all know in the chat. Y'all know. Y'all understand the assignment. But vote and pray. But also keep in mind, do something good in the world. Just the simplest thing as smiling at someone, say hello, because you never know. You never know. I'm not saying anybody's gonna go anytime soon, but you never know what tomorrow may hold at all. You never know. So just keep in mind, do something good for the world, you know? Okay, what if you look back at yesterday, did you do anything kind? What did you do? Were you anything Christ like yesterday? At all? When people look at you, can they say, "Oh, that person's Christ-like," or she like, "What do you do to like keep yourself so happy?" Is somebody gonna ask you that question?
Listen,
I'm saying.
listen. A simple text, or like Lexi said, a smile can change somebody's day, can make somebody's day better. Letting somebody know that you're thinking of them or just checking in on them, that can mean a lot to someone, and that can even save someone's life. So it's important to not only check in with yourself, but also check in on others as well.
You never.
And Latrice Jones said, hashtag vote and pray, and that's something that we need to do, especially after like this past weekend. Um, and we need to do our due diligence, our civic duty, get out in the community, get people registered to vote, get our young people registered to vote as well. Yes, I know Gen Z, we may think that voting is boring. We may think that, the candidates for the election, um, are just out of touch and out of date. But at the same time, we need to do our due diligence and make sure that our voice is heard and that our vote counts. So we have links for voting. We have ballotpedia.org. We also have iwillvote.com. If you're interested in being an election poll worker, we also have a link for that. That is www.powerthepolls.org/news in motion. And for more information, we also have a link for the RNC that we're going to put in the chat momentarily. But if you're looking for more information about RNC, which stands for Republican National
National
Conference, I
Convention.
believe,
Convention.
We have a convention. My fault. We also have a link for that, so we will put that in the chat momentarily. Um, but for the most part, we were just going to talk about everything that happened on Saturday. Um, we're still looking for your thoughts and opinions on this. If you believe that, despite the rhetoric that's been showing up on social media saying that it's an inside job or that this thing was staged, we want to hear your thoughts and opinions. So please let us know in the chat. Please let us know in the chat. We're going to get this link in the chat as well. But Lexi, would you like to tell us the national days for today?
Yes, of course. So our national days for today are Artificial Intelligence Appreciation Day. Shout out ChatGPT. Love that for you. Fresh Spinach Day. We love a spinach artichoke dip. I'm down for one. A little,
Okay, spell my say straight
I'll
sauce.
get down with a dip. I'll get a dip. Guinea Pig Appreciation Day. National Cherry Day. If you're a cherry gal, go for you. Good for you. Go get your cherries. National Corn Fritters Day. Um, I don't know that I've had one, but for those who have, good for you, friend.
You
You
said
have
corn fritters?
corn fritters. National corn fritters. It's National Personal Chef Day. I just wish I had one. I wish I had a personal chef just carry around with me. But like, I need some ribs. That's the first time ordering some ribs, fried
Mm,
chicken,
mm.
baked beans,
Well,
coleslaw.
yeah. Oh, coleslaw.
Yeah. Now wait a minute. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna save it. I'll save it for Throwback Thursday. If you know what,
Yeah.
I have my feelings about coleslaw. I only love my daddy's coleslaw, and that's it. That's it.
Oh, all right. Hey, that's fair.
Continue on. After National Personal Chef Day, it is National Wedding Invitation Day. So congratulations to those who are getting married. Woo, 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 woo.
Okay.
And it is World Snake Day. And
Oh,
I don't do reptiles, and reptiles don't do me. Therefore, I
okay.
keep my
I have still never heard of a corn. I've heard of apple fritters, but not a corn fritters. They're basically the same thing.
I no no because apple fritters and corn because it's two different ingredients. It's so there's apple and there's corn. There's a
Yeah, but
corn fritter, then there's an apple fritter. They're
yeah,
not the same thing.
huh?
Yeah, yeah. They may be like the same type of pastry, yes, because they're both fritter or type of dish. Let me know type of dish. But
Okay.
apple fritter and then the corn fritter, two different types.
Okay. Before we get to Miss Latrice Jones' question, she said yes, fresh spinach, and also I need a personal chef.
I hear that.
So I'm learning something new every day with these national days from Lexi. But to get into your question, Miss Latrice Jones, she said, "Young people, do you think the political climate will lower after President Biden called for calm and denounced the violence?" Oh, that's a great question. That is a great question. I don't believe the the political climate will lower in a way. Um, that's a really good question.
I don't think the political climate will lower, not by a lot, only because if we think about everything that's going on, just because I shouldn't say just because, but that's the best word I can come with. Just
Hmm.
because the president has asked for calm and for peace half the time, how much does that really happen? Now, I get it in like different situations such as 9/11, things that was a call for unity and things of the sort. But it's a little bit different when we have a bunch of I think we just have a lot of people who are confused or don't understand. And so it's time to educate people. So that's why it's so important for people to vote. VOTE, the polls are the place for you to be. So
Mm.
that's where you're supposed to be. Let's start there. But good. Oh, happy for Shirley Nicholson. She said my baby's getting married. I'm so happy for you over here. Woo, woo.
Congratulations, congratulations.
But in regards to the political climate, no, not by much. Maybe because the president called for it, that the Democrats may back off a little bit, only because he is one. But I don't. I doubt it that it happens. If so, small change, very small change.
And that kind of ties in with with the statement we read before we started today's show. And before we get into the inspirational message, just going to read that one more time. That News in Motion is a firm believer in democracy over political party, and it's also to establish um, and to foster citizen engagement and civic life by sharing headline news, voter education, and voter participation. We aim to instill a sense of empowerment and motivation. This grassroots movement seeks to inspire individuals through informative and engaging content, encouraging them to take meaningful action in their communities and contribute to positive change. We believe in democracy over political party, and we're here to make sure that that belief is upheld. Again, that we read that before we started the show, and we're just going to emphasize that again. That violence isn't the answer, and despite and no matter what side or what political party you stand on, um, we should never really want to see anybody perish at all. So I like we said, the incident or the political climate really won't lower, and I understand that this is the time for peace and unity. Um, but there's just a lot of pieces that need to be revealed. Shirley Nicholson says, so now after this incident Saturday, will all the former guys' charges begin to get thrown out? Okay. So she's saying now after this incident Saturday, will all the former guys' charges begin to get thrown out? Um,
Not necessarily.
yeah,
Given the democracy that we live in, it's possible that some things may be dropped, and some. It's for a lot of people. It's even a shock that he can run. It's even a shock that he can have running for a political party with everything that he has been charged. But it may happen. I think that some things may be weighed a little bit differently, which is where the idea of was this staged or was this put together or
yeah.
something, was this an inside job, that also weighs a part. I think if we find out the truth to that, that may help with some of the things, but some of his charges you have seen, I know we'll talk about that some tomorrow, but we have seen some of his charges get delayed or dropped or pushed back. I know it came up on my app. I was like, what happened was they're like Trump's church charges were dismissed. I said, dismissed. Okay, got it. But yeah, so there's so much happening, but I don't think it shouldn't take too much of a toll, but you never know. I think we've been shocked before. I wouldn't be shocked if we were shocked again. So I hope
Mm.
not, but you never
Uh,
know.
listen, I don't want the charges to be dismissed. I'd still look into them, but probably not right now with everything that's happening. Um, I think the main focus should be on the election. If that involves, looking into the charges, then so be it as well. Also, she says opinion on um, document changes.
So on his document charges, it was the judge. Also, I was talking about referring to a judge had dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump.
Gotcha.
So it was from CNN and Apple News. Thank you. A federal judge on Monday dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump, a shock ruling that clears away one of the major legal challenges facing the former president. So, in a 93-page ruling, District Judge Aileen Cannon said the appointment of special counsel Jack Smith violated the Constitution. She did not rule on whether Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents was proper or not. So it was a whole situation of technically he was holding illegal documents or important documents in his house that did not belong to him or that should not have been in his house in
Mm,
the first place. And it's one of the biggest charges that he had against him. And so therefore it was motioned or dismissed. And I think if anything we've seen from the nation before, it comes as quite a shock to me that those were dismissed. And also that he can even run after having legal documents in his home that do not belong to him in the first place. I just see it as quite a shock. I
you
don't even
think
think
those documents are linked to the January 6th incident?
I think it could have been. It could have been, but if you try to start to put some of the pieces together, it's like, why would you want that to happen in the
Mm,
first place? An attack on Capitol. Why would you want that to happen? And then on top of that, to have legal documents hidden in your home or wherever he had them hidden. It seems like we're trying to move away from a democracy and become a dictatorship if you ask me.
Mm.
But of course, do your research and look at all of your local stations. And this is why we say stay up to date with your local city council and things of the sort, because it starts from the lower class, not the lower class, but the lower part of the party, and makes its way upward. So please, I beg of you, when I say vote and pray, I mean vote and
And
pray.
pray. And we must definitely do that. Let's get into the inspirational message. We gotta go. Lexi, I know you have to get out of here.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I'm just gonna say that I know I don't know if you have a topic or whatnot, but all
Mhm.
I'm gonna say is that we need unity and peace over division and fighting. So that's just my title for today. Unity over division. Um, like I said before, no matter what political party you side with, um, whether you like the former guy, whether you don't like him, um, we all bleed the same color. We're all humans. We've all made mistakes. We've all done some stuff that we really aren't proud of, or really should have done. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. And something like what happened on Saturday, whether it be an inside job, whether it be staged or not, something like that is a scary situation. Um, so Lexi, I see you ready to get tagged in, so I'm gonna tag you and go ahead and
Tag
take
me
over.
in. Let's go. So I would say division is the new defiancy. So I would
Mm,
say it's from First Corinthians chapter 10. No, no, no. Don't let me lie to you. First Corinthians, come on, notes, work in my favor. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. It was called the chapter was divisions in the church. And it says, I appeal to you, dear brothers and sisters, by the authority of our Lord Jesus Christ, to live in harmony with each other. Let there be no divisions in the church, rather be one of one mind, united thought and purpose. So that's why I say division is the new defiancy, or division is defiancy, however you would like to put it, whatever you need to put it in the way for you to get it. Division
mm,
is the new defiancy. You're still, as a body of Christ, we are one body, not separated bodies. And of course, it's a touchy topic for some people, so I'm gonna stay light. I'm gonna tread real light. But God did not call for our religions to be separate. He said we're one. We're supposed
mm,
to be one. We bleed the same blood. He said, I created you. We're supposed to be together, not separated. No, I did not call his body parts to be separated. He did not say, here, take the arm over here and take my hand over there. He said, let me be one. Let my people come together as one so we can worship him and call him the Almighty King as a body, as one people. So I'm not saying don't judge anyone who's in a different religion. We completely respect you and we love you just the same. No matter what you believe in, what you do, every sin is equal. I don't care what anybody got to say about it. We don't care about any of that. But we're saying that as we should be uniting as one, not separated at all. God did not
mm,
call for that. But that's why I say the simplest thing of kindness goes such a long way. So you have to look at yourself every day. What have I done today that is most godlike? Have I really tried to be godly? Or think about it. While you're at work, is this godly? I know what I think, what I want to say, or what I'm about to do. Is this godly? I know he's on my nerves right now, but is it godly? I know
mm.
God said turn the other cheek, but Lord, you know my heart. It's nope, still not godly. So just go ahead, take a deep breath, and go sit down somewhere. But it's okay. But yeah, division is the new defiancy. So as you're trying to divide more and more, or you keep trying to defy what God's telling you to do for somebody, you're defying Him in the end.
Mm.
So that's my piece. That's my little tidbit for today.
I I really like what you said with division being the new defiance, and like I said, we all bleed the same color. We may have different blood types, but we all bleed the same color. So, um, and Ms. Latricia says, "Is this godly?" She also states before we get out of here that the case being dismissed and what happened at the rally have swung the pendulum in Trump's favor. It definitely has. I don't. With
Pray,
what happened. Hmm?
vote and pray,
But yeah, we that's
vote
all
and pray. That is all
that's
I
all
can
we
tell you.
really have to do is vote and pray, and also stay vigilant, not only in our communities but on the news as well. I know it can get hectic sometimes; it can be a lot, but it's important that we stay up to date with not just the global news, but our local news as well. So yeah, this has been an interesting Talk About It Tuesday. We appreciate everyone who was able to chat with us, whether you be live or if you're catching the replay. Let us know what your thoughts and opinions are from this past Saturday, what happened at the rally to former President Donald Trump. But we need to stay up to date with everything that is going on with not just Trump, but also with the RNC, with the Democratic Party, with everything as well. So be sure that you tune in tomorrow. We're going to pick up this conversation and also talk about J.D. Vance for Well Spoken Wednesday as well. And then also catch us on Thursday for Throwback Thursday. Those tend to be our more lighthearted segments, our fun segments as well. Make sure that you invite a young person. Tell them to tune in to News and Motion so that way they can see that Gen Z do news in their own way, put a little flavor on it.
You never know, you might catch a poem tomorrow. Ooh.
Oh, hey, y'all ain't hear that from us. I'm just saying y'all gotta tune in tomorrow to come see that. Y'all gotta tune in tomorrow for that well spoken word. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm Lex. Why am I saying?
Hey now, don't try to take my name.
I was gonna say this is Lexi Williams. I'm Isaiah Jones. This has been the Young People Takeover. We love you. We appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow.
Motion.